Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in again today. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Please take the time to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I appreciate that very much. Today we have one here from Entertainment Weekly. James Wan and Patrick Wilson fantasize about remaking 1986's Big Trouble in Little China. Wan says the pair love to geek out about John Carpenter. Now, Big Trouble in Little China, probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Not just my favorite John Carpenter movie, but one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the movie. I know it wasn't successful when it came out, but when I first saw it on video, I loved the movie. It quickly became one of my favorites. And like I said, not just one of my favorite John Carpenter movies, but one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite John Carpenter movies, or probably my favorite John Carpenter movie, is The Thing. Also, that is also one of my favorite movies of all time. So, John Carpenter's pretty high up there in my love of movies. But James Wan repeatedly cast Patrick Wilson in his movies, and they have at least 2 more upcoming collaborations. Wilson is both starring in and directing the Wan-produced Insidious 5 out July 7th, and the actor will also reprise his role as Orm Marius in the Wan-directed Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, out on December 25th. But according to Wan, the pair have one particular dream project in mind. One of the biggest reasons I love working with Patrick on my films is he's such a film buff. Wan recently told EW while promoting his latest flick as a producer, the just-released horror romp Megan, which also looks pretty fun. I may try to watch that one as well. He's truly a film geek, and when we're working together, a lot of times we're not focused on the film we're shooting. We're talking about other movies. We all love to geek out about John Carpenter and about Big Trouble in Little China. That's a big film for Patrick and myself, and we always fantasize about doing a remake of it. However, he was quick to add, but that's never going to happen. I mean, it's a sacrilege movie. Directed by John Carpenter, Big Trouble in Little China stars Kurt Russell as the heroic but hapless Jack Burton, who teams up with Dennis Dunn's Wang Chi to face off against James Hong's villainous Lo Pan, a mix of comedy, martial arts, and the supernatural. The movie was not a hit when it was released in 1986, but has acquired a cult following over time. Fortunately for us, tapes and DVDs were just beginning to come out, and Big Trouble in Little China found its life anyway, Russell told EW in 2016. That one really grabbed a hold of the audience. In June 2015, the rap reported that Dwayne Johnson was in negotiations to star and produce a remake of the Carpenter's film. I loved the original when I was younger, and I loved the main character, all the characters, Johnson subsequently told EW at the project. It feels like if we surrounded ourselves with the right group of people, the right writers who loved the movie too, and wanted to honor it, bring John Carpenter in some capacity. If we did that, we would have a shot at hopefully making something good. Hiram Garcia, president of production at Johnson's company 7 Bucks Productions, later clarified that the new Big Trouble movie would be a sequel rather than a remake, and in 2021 he offered an update on the project. It's still an ambition of ours, but unfortunately there are complications that come with a legacy property like that, which has so much attached to it from over the years, Garcia told Collider. We have a really fun idea on what we'd want to do with it, especially since our goal was never to remake Big Trouble, but simply continue it. Similar to what we did with Jumanji, we would continue the story and make sure the original stands on its own since it means so much to us and fans around the world. We're going to figure out a way to continue the story of Big Trouble in Little China. And again, like I said, Big Trouble in Little China, probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. My favorite John Carpenter movie of all time is The Thing. But Big Trouble in Little China is right there among it. So John Carpenter, in my film lexicon, he's major. But I don't know, honestly don't know which version I'd like to see more, James Wan's or The Rock's. I mean, The Rock's would probably lean into the action comedy aspect of Big Trouble in Little China more than James Wan. Action comedy, kind of magical, supernatural fun. I think The Rock would probably be a better. The Rock's film would probably be a better version than James Wan. James Wan would lean more into the supernatural, creepy, version of Big Trouble in Little China, whereas The Rock would probably go into the action comedy a little harder. So honestly, I think The Rock's version would probably be more fun, honestly. But if it's going to be, I would rather it to be a sequel personally than a remake, because I love the original. The original stands on its own. The way that it ended, and spoiler alert for you if you have not yet seen this movie, it's been out for a long, long time, but still, spoiler alert if somebody ever decides they want to watch it. The movie ends with Jack Burton driving away in his truck with a monster on the back of it. So I always wanted to see a continuation, a sequel, pick that up and see where it goes. I know there's a comic series out there that basically picks up, right after the events or near after the events. I know there's that out there, and I have read that, and it's fun too. It's actually fun to read, but yeah, I don't know which version. I mean, I would, like I said, if it's going to be a sequel, I'd rather it be like The Rock to do a sequel. I don't really want to see a remake because I think the original stands on its own. So a remake is kind of out for me as far as this movie goes. But you can't control what Hollywood wants to remake when they want to remake it. But this is Big Trouble is one of those movies where if you do a remake of it, the fans won't accept it. As basically, it doesn't matter who you cast. It doesn't matter how good the movie is. If it's a remake, real fans aren't going to accept it. And if The Rock is going to do it and get John Carpenter to participate in some way, then you have to get Kurt Russell back as well. And he has to not just be a cameo. He has to be, more or less a co-star in the movie. He has to be in like 80% of it at least. Maybe 70%. But still, he's got to be a major role in the movie. You can't just leave him out. And I don't know how they would handle the rest of the characters, but you have to bring some of them back. I know a few of them have passed away, unfortunately, but you'd have to bring at least a couple of them back. Kurt Russell, for sure. I mean, you can't have a sequel without Jack Burton. So, but tell me what you think. Would you prefer to see the Rock's version or James Wan's version? Who would you, what version would you rather see? And what do you think that person would do with the movie? If you think you would prefer James Wan's version, what would he do? How would he treat the movie? How do you think he would treat the movie? If you would prefer to see The Rock's version, how do you think he would treat the movie? Or the sequel, what do you think he would do? Or his production company, what do you think they would do? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I appreciate anybody who takes the time to watch any of my videos. I appreciate anybody who takes the time to like, comment, share, and subscribe very much so. I thank you all for doing that. I'm nearing 1,000 views, and I'm very, very happy for that. I mean, I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I have quite a few views, and I appreciate that. I think anybody that takes the time to watch the videos, even just a few seconds of it, I appreciate it very much. But again, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell me what you think about what would happen in those movies. What do you think? And I will see you on the next one. And bye for now.